In this video, I'm going to share with you how to become a thought leader in your niche. And by watching to the end of the video, I'm going to give you a 5-part framework that's simple, and you can probably do the first 4 parts right here today. So before I share with you how to become a thought leader in your niche, I think it begs the question, what does it mean to be a thought leader? Well, in my definition, a thought leader is someone who is cultivating influence in order to impact the world. Someone who is changing the way we think, someone who's introducing new paradigms, someone who is truly grabbing a torch and leading the charge on something that's new and different and unique. So how do you position yourself as the thought leader? Well, it all boils down to something really simple: branding. It's branding yourself as a thought leader and doing so from a place that's fully aligned with who you really are, your gifts and your strengths, and what you were put on this planet to share with people. So one of the most important things that I can share with you about becoming a thought leader is not even strategic, it's not even tactical. It comes back down to who you're being. It comes down to mindset and attitude. And it's stop waiting to be discovered and discover yourself. So often, and I find that this happens especially with women, we are waiting for someone to recognize our thought leadership. We are waiting for someone to discover us and say, "You, that's it. I've been looking for someone just like you. Your message is amazing." Now, that happens every once in a while, but even when it happens, chances are this person has been putting themselves out there so that they can be discovered. So the most important thing about this conversation of becoming a thought leader is being willing to put yourself out there and to take the actions that would allow you and enable you to be seen by people. So I'm going to walk you through my 5-step framework for how to build a personal brand and put it out into the world so that you can position yourself as a thought leader in your niche. So the first of the 5 steps is the inner work. So the inner work of branding yourself involves really getting clear about who you really are, why you're here on this planet, and what you are meant to deliver to the world. So I think of this, the reason I start with this inner work is because I found that so often when people start to do branding and positioning themselves, they start with the tactical or they start with the strategic, and they think, all right, what does the market want me to be? And what can I sell? And what's popular right now? Or what's trending? And they try to orient their personal brand and create it from an external place. And what happens when we do that is we run the risk, and I've done this, we run the risk of creating something that's incongruent with who we really are. Early in my business, I was trying to position myself as a thought leader around personality typing and testing and corporate training. Now, I had looked at the market and I was operating from scarcity, and I was trying to figure out, how can I make money? How can I create a business that will flourish? How can I take care of my needs and have a nice life and a nice lifestyle? So I was operating from this external focus. I was trying to figure out, what can I do so that people will buy from me, believe in me, like me, and want to work with me? So I was trying to position myself as a thought leader, but I was starting from a place outside of me. And so what ended up happening was I thought, well, since I want to be a consultant and since I want to work with this corporate market, I need to position myself and look like someone that aligns and is appealing to a corporate market. So I went around and I looked at all the websites out there, and I found other people who were doing what I wanted to do, and I basically emulated their websites. And I ended up, this was 12 years ago, with a navy blue, black and white website that had no pictures on it, no color, no soul. It was a really informative website, had a whole lot of text and content on it, but it did not align with my personality. I basically created this box. I had this box called consultant and I tried to fit myself into the box. And of course, I spent 2, 3, 4 years hammering away, hustling, and trying to make it work. And it just wasn't happening naturally. And the reason it wasn't happening naturally is because the brand that I created was not aligned with my true, authentic self. I'm someone who loves color. I love to have fun. I love to have a good time. I love connecting deeply with my clients. So not only was I building a brand that was completely out of alignment and incongruent with who I really was, I never stopped to think about who I really was or what I really wanted. So the internal work of branding has to come first. Think of it like an iceberg, right? The iceberg, the part of the iceberg that's above the water, is what's observable, what we see. That's your brand. But the bulk of the iceberg that gives the iceberg its height and its ability to be seen is underneath the water. We don't see it. And underneath is where all the deep work happens. So the inner work has to come first in branding. Then we can go focus on the observable outer work and the way that our brand, we position and present it to the world. So the inner work comes first. And that means getting really clear about who are you and what do you really want. Don't try to think about what you can sell and what the market wants, but think about what do you want to do? What brings you joy? What would you enjoy? And start building your brand foundation around that. The second part of this process is the higher work. Now, the higher work is the connection to something bigger than you, something beyond you. Now, sometimes it can be challenging when we're trying to build a strategy or build a brand and we're really just trying to get by and make some money and make stuff happen. We can forget the value of connecting to something greater. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about God or religion or spirituality. What I'm just talking about is connecting what you're up to in your life with something that's bigger than you, a contribution that's beyond you. Now, it could be something as simple as to bring light to others. That can be a higher purpose. Or it could be something more specific, like to empower women to uplift themselves out of poverty. I don't know what it is, but it's important that whatever you're going to do with your brand, that it be aligned with something bigger than you. And remember, this doesn't have to be set in stone. It doesn't have to be forever, and you don't even have to share this with anybody. This is really for you to understand who you really are and why you're really doing the work you're doing. The third part of building a personal brand that allows you to be a thought leader in your niche is to do the creative work. Now, the creative work is fun. The creative work is where you get to decide, what is it that I do differently? What is it that I do creatively? Now, if you want to go deeper on this topic of branding around this creative work, then go see the video that I did called What is a Personal Brand and Why is it Important? I dive deep into my red soul approach to branding. So the creative work is differentiating you from everybody else in the market. Or it's the thought leadership. It's the thing that makes you a thought leader. It's the unique way that you view the world. It's the unique message that you have. It's the unique story that you have experienced and are speaking or writing or expressing from. So the creative work is looking around and finding what's that secret special sauce that you have that no one else has. The fourth component to personal branding, to become a thought leader in your niche, is the strategic work. Now, this is where a lot of people want to start their branding journey, but I recommend waiting until you've done the first 3 steps. So the strategic work is what's traditionally associated with branding. It's positioning and promotion. And it also includes pricing too. So positioning is, where are you focusing in the market? Where's the opportunity that you are going to position yourself for? What is the target audience that you're going to direct yourself to, or the ideal client, as I like to talk about it? What is the opportunity that you're there to tap into? What is the problem that you solve? Then the promotion is, what is it that you're going to put out into the world to represent you? And then the other piece is, what is your pricing? So when we look at thought leadership, a thought leadership brand is like a celebrity brand. So you have to be careful that you're charging thought leadership prices for whatever you're going to offer. One really common thing that happens with thought leaders, if they undercharge for their products and services, is that they end up getting burnt out, overwhelmed, or overworked. So the strategic work is also about putting words to your message. It's about finding how you're going to speak about what you do. What is the actual message that you're here to impart? A thought leader has a message. A thought leader is someone who is changing hearts and minds. So what is that message that you're going to put out in the world? And the fifth and final phase of building a personal brand to being a thought leader is the execution work. This is what most people associate with branding. It's the physical materials, the look and feel, the logo, the website, the headshots, the bio, the business card, all of those things that we associate with branding. And it's also the ongoing methods that we're going to use to put our brand out in the world. So this is the branding and the materials. That's usually a one-time thing. And then there's the ongoing thing, which is really marketing, of how are we going to position ourselves in the market? What is it that we're going to put out into the world? So I like to narrow it down to just 4 categories: publishing, broadcasting, speaking, and networking. These are 4 ways that you can consistently put yourself out into the market and present yourself as a thought leader. So publishing, writing a book, writing a blog, writing white papers, email marketing, all of these methodologies of written word, putting that out into the market. Broadcasting, this is a broadcast medium right here, YouTube. Also podcasting, which I also have, www.thesuperstarpodcast.com. Broadcasting, there's so many platforms now that allow you to be your own producer and put yourself out into the world as a thought leader, sharing your message. The speaking is my absolute favorite thought leadership vehicle for branding yourself and marketing yourself and putting yourself out and connecting in person, but in a group, a more leveraged format than one-on-one. And then the final way is networking, and that is individually connecting with partners, constituents, evangelists, ambassadors, and other people that can put you out in front of their audiences. So really networking to create JV or affiliate relationships or partnerships. So those are my favorite strategies for how to position yourself as a thought leader. If you're ready to brand yourself and position yourself like a thought leader, then go ahead and download my Monetize Your Magic Playbook. This is a free resource full of strategies, techniques, tactics, and tools that you can use to create more freedom, fortune, fulfillment, and fun in your business and in your life. Enjoy.